Hi, and welcome back to Pokemon, and yeah, we actually have to do the little rescue mission now. I think in the last part I got off track and started talking about Pokemon Mew 3, whatever, the new Pokemon, or new form, if you like. Well, a rumour I've heard is that Mew 3 is actually called something like Godspeed Mew 2. And if you know about Genesect, his speed form is called Godspeed. Or, no, it's called Extreme Speed. So, there seems to be some implication that the new Pokemon will be a new form of Mewtwo. Which, again, I'm sure the Gen 1 lovers will go against. They've already overreacted against the unveiling of Mew 3. They've ruined Mewtwo. This new design sucks. And I'll admit, okay, the Mew 3 design, it's a bit off. It looks a bit weird from what we usually know about Mewtwo. But, okay, one, if it is optional form, if it is a new form of Mewtwo, then you just keep Mewtwo as he is. And second of all, this will actually make Gen 1 Pokemon more... It will make them relevant again. It will make them significant. And, speaking of which, Gen 1 is my favourite gen. Oh, wait, no. Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know, this gen is pretty cool. But anyway, what I actually meant to say was, Gen 1 was my first gen. And I have a lot of affection for it. But I'm not like some crazy fanboy about it. I know that it was unbalanced. And, you know, even though I loved it at the time, I loved the gameplay, it seemed revolutionary to me. Looking back now, it seems very basic compared to the other gens. But, I'd like to give a few positive points to Gen 1. One thing I always liked was that it introduced 150 new Pokemon. And it also only had 5 HMs. And I guess the reason why I like Gen 5 is because it does the good things Gen 1 did as well. This introduced like 150 new Pokemon, and it only has a couple of HMs throughout the game. I think, look, I can't remember how many HMs. Is it 5? I think it could be like 5, but even if it's more than 5, at some points it doesn't. You don't have to use. Like I know, yeah, I know in post game you use the HM dive, but my point is you only have to use it on that one area, and you don't have to use it again. So what I'm saying is it might have more HMs in total than Gen. I'm all over the place today. But what I'm saying is it might have more HMs than 5, but it doesn't force you to use those extra HMs a lot. Ooh, that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't force HMs down your throat. There, that wasn't difficult. But what we have now is a double battle here. And I'm not too keen on these story-wise, because you can't control the other... You can't control your ally, as it were. So sometimes their enemy AI kind of doesn't work that well. But anyway, you're about to see an example. Yep, let's show them how it's done. Okay, Sharon. Synchronized Pokeball throw. We have to wait until these guys send theirs out, but okay. Now we do the synchronized Pokeball throw. 3, 2, 1. Swing! Yes! The hours of rehearsal have paid off. But anyway, I'll give Sharon some credit. At least he sends out his best Pokemon first. And of course, we double team that Pat Trap there. So actually, yeah, like I said, sometimes when you're doing these forced double battles with a NPC, they can be a bit awkward. But fortunately, Sharon knows what to do. We just attack straight away. And of course, you can see here, he will attack the Pokemon that's opposite to his Pokemon. So yeah, use that to just end this battle quickly. Now, before, this game does have double battles before and double world encounters. But this generation also introduces triple battles, and also these sort of triple switch battles. Which, they could be interesting. For me, those battles kind of drag on longer than they should. But then again, maybe I could just be more patient with them, really. But You'll see an example of that later on in the game. But anyway, luckily Team Plasma aren't too threatening. Well, at this point they're not. Their leader is a real bitch to fight, which I do appreciate. You know, he is the main villain. He is meant to be like a big, huge threat. But anyway, luckily these grunts, they just use their little normal Pokemon. Now, so I think I should point out that in this cave you can catch a Roggenroll, which is a rock-type Pokemon, which would be very useful against the next gym. And again, what this gen does, it has Pokemon which are kind of like the equivalent to Geodude and Zubat, like a rock Pokemon and a bat Pokemon, but they're different. And that's what I like. It's like you can use similar ideas again and again, but as long as you do something slightly different with them. Like we have Zubat, that's a poison bat Pokemon. In this gen we have Woobat, that's a psychic bat Pokemon. You know, it's different enough to be interesting. Personally, you know I like dark types. I'm still waiting for a bat Pokemon that's a dark flying type. And here's Roggenroll, and I guess it's meant to be based off a speaker. Because, you know, that's just what I'm guessing, because he kind of looks like a speaker, and his name is Roggenroll, like rock and roller. Now, to talk about Roggenroll for a while, like I said, he's like Geodude, except, and this is what I like about this this Pokemon, that he's a pure rock type, rather than being just a rock ground type. I mean, granted, he still has a huge weakness against grass and water Pokemon. But hey, he took down my my Pansear, so my Panpool. See, I'm still getting those elemental monkeys mixed up. Anyway, here's Woobat, and when I first saw his image, and I think, like a lot of people, I thought he had one eye, and I thought, oh, that's a cool design. But no, he's a bat, and I can't remember the name of the bat, but he's based off a specific breed of bat, if you will. But anyway, I have TM Thief, which is a good dark type move. Well, it's good for a while. It's got low power, that's its problem. But you know, if you use Thief, you can attack the enemy and steal whatever item they have, which can be useful. Yeah, although it doesn't always work. It'd be good if you did that and you always stole the opponent's berry or whatever. But I find it doesn't always work. But like I said, at this point, Tim Curry could do with a dark type move to take advantage of his stab ability. Or, yeah, that's it, the stab, same type attack bonus. So, yeah, a dark move is welcome. Anyway, we're heading down on Route 3. But first of all, let's teach Tim Curry my Thief type move. You can see here, it only has 40 power, but yeah, it's still worth knowing. Although I was saying that, I think he does learn a dark move in a while. And off the top of my head, I can't remember if he's going to learn Pursuit or Assurance. Anyway, one of those moves. Very well. You know, I've heard some people talk about, would it be good if Pokemon could learn more than 4 moves? And I kind of think that would make them broken, in a sense. Well, saying that, I wouldn't mind, you know, like in this gen, I wouldn't mind just reducing the number of HMs, so we have more slots available. And again, you talk about HM slaves. I've been playing a bit of Pokemon Platinum recently, and I have to carry a Bibarel with me at all times, which gets annoying because I have like I have my full final 6-member team planned out, but I always have to keep one of them in the PC box. But anyway, here we have Blitzel. Now, something I like about Blitzel, because he's an electric type, but he's black and white, which might seem obvious, of course, because he's a zebra. But the thing is, like, sort of electric Pokemon, they have this sort of theme colour of yellow. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, I like it when they try and be different with the colour scheme. Like for example, he's an electric type, but it make him like black and yellow. Kind of like, for example, you expect water Pokemon to be blue, and fire Pokemon to be red. But I like it when they have when they sort of mix up the colours a bit. Speaking of which, we haven't really had a blue fire Pokemon, have we? And you can get blue fire. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, all types have their specific theme colours, and it's nice to, you know, get a bit experimental with it. Again, when it comes to electricity, I say it's yellow, but in real life it's actually sort of a light blue. And when I think of Pokemon, I think, have they had like a blue electric Pokemon? And actually, I'm thinking of the legendary in this game, and they kind of do. If you get what I mean. Oh, and speaking of like sort of blue fire type Pokemon, well, they do have a fire Pokemon in this generation, but it's not blue; it's sort of purple. But again, we'll see that later on. Fortunately, this girl sends out a Psychic type, and we can finally make use of Thief, which for some reason only has 8 PP here. Unless I don't think I used Thief, but now to talk about Woobat here, I don't use one really, because when it comes to like Psychic and Dark types, I always go for the Dark type. They just, again, because I know this Pokemon tends to throw like a powerful Psychic type at you at some point, so it always pays to have a Dark type. But what I'm trying to say is, I've heard that Woobat and Swoobat, yeah, that's it, Swoobat, are actually a good Pokemon to use. And of course, being Psychic Flying type, I guess they would be really good against fighting types. But anyway, I just wanted to show this off here. We have double encounters, which I don't think we've had before. I know you sort of could have had double encounters in Gen 4, but that was only when you're with like a partner. I don't think by yourself you could have had double encounters. But anyway, we're nearly done with this part, and soon we'll be heading on to the new town and hopefully getting a new badge.